not do in the real world that we can do in the virtual world, and really take advantage of the virtual platform. And this last year, we really landed upon something quite amazing through a series of wonderful synchronous events, I guess you might say. We connected with Bernadine Porter of digital storytelling fame, and she actually came on campus for a couple of days, and we went through the traditional digital storytelling process. When Bernadine does it, there's quite a focus on getting into the emotional piece of the story, really living inside the story and living the lesson learned of the story. And what we decided to try was, rather than the usual mediums of presenting these stories of, iMovies or even podcasts, what we did was we decided to try with some of the kids machinima to tell the story, and with others we created a 3D immersive experience where a visitor would actually enter the story and experience the story through audio and visuals and text, and that's what we call the story world. So that's the project that we worked on, where we really felt like, okay, we've now landed in something that could not be recreated in the real world.
And so, how involved are the kids in I guess really all aspects? I mean, everyone who's in Second Life knows how much work it is to build anything. We had Bettina Tizzy on a couple weeks ago saying she could barely res a box. They're doing a lot of building. They're really, I mean, if they are, they're pulling on just about every skill
Actually, that's the amazing part. The first year, I'm the visionary. My skills were fairly limited. I didn't know any scripting, very minimal building, and I of course passed on to my students what I knew. That's all they needed. We have a recreation of the Ivory Tower on Ramapo Islands, which was donated to us, and some of the kids have taken advantage of that, and it's self-directed. But we also had some guest mentors come in and give a couple of scripting lessons. And the funny thing is, the first year I would sit down next to a student that was doing something really cool, and I'd say, hey, show me how to do that. And they'd say, okay. And they'd take me step by step through it. At this point, I sit down with them and I say, hey, show me how to do that. And they say, nah, you wouldn't get it. So, I mean, and that to me is something to celebrate. That to me is okay. For years now, we've been saying the teacher has to move away from the sage on the stage to the guide on the side, but nobody shows us what that looks like. And here's what it looks like. It's where the kids have taken over ownership of their learning, and they're invested in it. And the teacher does not have to be as adept in the actual skills or of the user interface. They're still the facilitator of the journey of the learning. So every time one of my students, surpasses me on skill levels, and I really can't keep up with them. It for me is a cause for celebration.
Mm-hmm. Now.